continuing to move its way to the east. Now, we did get another update from the National Weather Service, and I'm going to... Okay, so Paul, it looks like for that line, they've added a tornado warning to it. So that line that we were just tracking on the air for you, the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning. So this includes very populated area, South Central Montgomery County, East Central Chester County, and Northern Delaware County, all of these in southeastern Pennsylvania. This tornado warning in this newest red polygon is until 12 o'clock. So we have two different tornado warnings right now. With this tornado warning, severe thunderstorms capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight line wind damage were located over Westchester, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Now, some of the communities in this warning include Westchester, Westtown, Gradyville, Cheney, Broomall, Paoli. I do want to mention this is a big part of our viewing area. As I continue to read these towns, please get into your safe location, get away from windows. Again, there's the tornado threat, but also the straight line wind threat. Newtown Square, Bryn Mawr, Trout Lake, Radnor Township, King of Prussia, West Goshen, Lima, please excuse me if I mispronounced that one, Malvern, Devon and Berwyn, Upper Providence Township, Ardmore, and Chesterbrook. This includes the Pennsylvania Turnpike between mile markers 328 and 329, Interstate 76 between mile markers 327 and 330, so right over the expressway, and 476 between mile markers 7 and 15. So again, if you are just joining us here, we continue our coverage with a tornado warning that has been issued for parts of Montgomery County, Chester County, and Delaware County. This is until 12 o'clock, and this is a very populated area. You can see some of the towns here. The time now is 11:36. East Goshen, 11:40. The worst of this will be going over your area. 11:45 in Malvern, 11:45 in Malvern, 11:49 in Paoli, Tredyffrin, 11:52, 11:58 in Radnor, and 12:04 in Norristown. And what you're seeing with this relative velocity is a product that we use to see oftentimes the tornado signature or a signature of where the strongest winds are in rotation with the atmosphere, but we're also able to look at the straight line wind threat, and you can just see kind of that wall of green moving its way to the east. That's what that squall line that's setting up from Chester County all the way down into parts of northern Delaware into Newcastle County.
Brittany, you talked about how obviously these are populated areas. We've addressed what people should do if they don't have a basement. What if you are in your car, because you also mentioned that these are going over heavily traveled roads?
Yeah, you know, being in the car is the worst place that you can be. A lot of times people think, you know, you see it on TV, you want to get under an underpass.
Right.
It's actually more dangerous of a place to get. One, you can back up traffic. Two, a lot of times winds accelerate under underpasses. So really, best case scenario, what you could do is find the closest business, find the closest home. I mean, if you have to, knock on somebody's door, but you really want to be inside a structure. And we mentioned with the tornado warnings, you want to be away from windows, you want to be away from glass. If you're sitting in your vehicle and a tornado or any kind of strong wind comes through, you're most exposed in that location. So being in a vehicle, honestly, one of the worst places that you can be.
It's good to know.
All right, so if you are just joining us again here on 6ABC, we are tracking Paul, if we can go back to the tornado warnings, just to kind of get a lay of the land of what's going on at this hour. We have two different tornado warnings, Berks County and Lancaster County, where they once were under a tornado warning. Those have been allowed to expire. So here's our first tornado warning that continues until 11:45. The time now is 11:38. That includes Chester County, so over 82, 76, Route 23, that cell that we were watching was moving northeast at about 35 miles per hour. And then we have our second warning that was issued by the National Weather Service just a couple of minutes ago at 11:32. That concludes south central Montgomery County, east central Chester County, and northern Delaware County, and that tornado warning is until 12 o'clock. And we mentioned some of the population within this area, but also roads that are very well traveled here. You're looking at 202, 30, also 252. We mentioned 476 and also 76. You do not want to be inside your vehicle. You want to get into a sturdy building. So here we just populated a few more communities. The time now is 11:39. We're looking at the worst of this and potential tornado moving into Willistown at 11:43, Plumsock at 11:46, Marple at 11:52, Radnor 11:56, Haverford at 11:59, and Marion at 12:02. All right, so it looks like the latest update from the National Weather Service, they're expiring the tornado warning over Chester County. So we can see if that popped through in our system that just came out. All right, it looks like it hasn't come into our system just yet. So we're gonna see if that's the northern tornado warning that we had. Okay, so, yep, thank you, Paul. And if you hear me talking to anyone, Paul Trombello is our meteorologist and graphics producer, running the graphics for me here. So that northern red polygon area, they will allow that to expire at 11:45. So that's a new update from the National Weather Service. So we're going to focus more so on this second polygon, this large tornado warning that is over parts of Chester County, also Montgomery County, and into Delaware County. At this point, there have been no storm reports that have come through yet, or no information that has been relayed to the National Weather Service from the general public. So you can see the radar is very active right now. If you're tuning in from Philadelphia, even Wilmington right now, these thunderstorms, while the worst of it is not here, it's kind of knocking at your doorstep at this hour. So if you know anybody, any kids that are outside, I know school's out for a lot of communities, you want to call them in and tell them to get inside because there's some really nasty weather on the way here. You can see that we've populated a few more communities in the path of this line, this dangerous line of thunderstorms. 11:45 in Wilmington, Delaware. So again, Newcastle County, you're also looking at the threat of the severe weather. Tredyffrin at 11:49, Upper Marion 11:55, Chester at 11:58, Upper Darby 12:03, and 12:07 in White Marsh.
Now, Brittany, when we're seeing those two colors side by side, walk me through what we're seeing with the green and the purple meeting. Is that where it's the strongest winds?
Typically, we want to look for where we're getting bright banding with the green and the red. So what Paul's actually doing right now is you can also use this velocity product to see when we have the threat of straight line wind. So with that green moving towards the radar, that's an indication not so much that we're seeing rotation in this particular area, but that strong wind threat. So that's when we're talking about winds 60 to 70 miles per hour, which, people don't hear the word tornado associated with that, but when you have winds that strong, it essentially can do the same amount of damage. So that's what we're trying to use, all the tools in our toolbox right now to tell people exactly what's going on at this hour. So with this bright green banding, with the winds pushing their way to the east, that is an indication that we're dealing with essentially a wall of wind right now moving its way through Chester County. And at this point, I'm not seeing any updates just yet from the National Weather Service. And here we go. We haven't looked a whole lot at this today. Now, with the severe weather threat, we have been most concerned about the damaging wind threat. That's why we issued the AccuWeather alert for today. It was kind of a 1, 2, 3 with the threats: damaging winds, hail, and then the tornado threat. And at this point, we can see that these thunderstorms, they're packing a punch. They're not just bringing the tornado threat, but they're also bringing hail. And it looks like we have had a good bit of hail moving through southern Lancaster County and then also into parts of Chester County. So we're looking at East Nottingham, also in and around the Coatesville area. And it looks like some of these storms are even producing hail as they move their way into parts of Delaware. Newark also looking at the potential of up to 1-inch hail with these storms. And I mentioned it earlier, you know, this is a situation where I've referred to things as a wall of wind and just heavy torrential downpours. Chances are, if you do have a tornado in this kind of situation, you're not going to see it just with the intensity of the thunderstorms that are moving through the area.